I think we've come from a really, really difficult period of adjustment. You know, we'd been the same lineup since the start. We go through 2 albums and we lose a core member. That's an incredibly difficult thing for most bands to come back from, especially when it's, you know, one of the main writers in the band.
You're kind of married to 4 people or whatever, and it's like you have this really intense relationship.
Diplomacy and compromise is always going to be top of the list. Look, every band's a democracy.
It's the music, obviously, but it's the whole thing about making music together. That's what brings people together as well.
Mariana Hollow is it's metal. I listen to it, I go, you know what? I can name a few bands I think this is like, but I don't know anyone who sounds like this.
Like each song really stands out on its own. You can listen to each song, and each song has like so many different elements in it.
The Mariana Hollow is a band that I've recommended to a lot of people. I think what I remember really liking about the band was just how unique it is.
I think the fact that it was progressive, but yet had its roots in other places, that made me think, you know, well, okay, they're not trying too hard to be something, they're just being what they are.
When I saw the image of the Mariana Hollow before listening to the songs, I thought, oh my god, so another Evanescence band, or, you know, and I hate those shit. And I said, oh my god, I'm not gonna like it. But then, it's totally different, it's just so much better.
The songs are great, the songwriting is great. I think it's only a matter of time.
Like, he's what, 9 foot tall?
And I was scared when I first met him because he was so tall.
I just remember walking in there and going, who the fuck is that dude? That massive guy with that massive hair and that face that looks like, if he just looked at me, I'd just crumble into dust.
Richie's breakdown face, because it's a struggle every time.
He suffers for the rock. Suffers badly.
He's by far the most British person I've ever met, in the cool sense.
Do it like a terrorist!
Richie is literally one of the nicest people I've ever met.
But I think Richie, immediately you just feel this warmth from, and that's really cool. And as a guitarist, I mean, I always think Richie writes a lot of the things that I imagine I would hope to write if I was a guitarist.
He's an inventor. At home, he's just so prolific.
He just like gets an idea in his head and spews it out onto guitar, and I guess he's been doing it for long enough that his fingers go to the right places.
Scott is the dark horse of TMH for that.
Very precise, thought out and extremely cynical humour.
Is this bowl of fruit decorative?
No, I eat fruit, it's just a refreshing treat.
People nowadays tend to listen to music more with their eyes than with their ears.
Maybe you should be like sliding that, like holding on the last note and sliding down with it. So down there.
At least he listens to music with the ears and just goes for the sound. That's what matters.
A lot of the time after gigs, if you think I'm a moody fucker, I am, but that isn't why I'm ignoring you.
And he came out and said, if this is a problem for you, I totally understand. It's been a problem for people in the past. I can't see. I'm blind.
It's something that I watch and I think to myself, if he's doing that, how the fuck is he doing that?
In listening to the drums, obviously you listen to the bass as well. Just hearing how brilliantly that locks in. Just is that kind of massive, solid, dense piece of like the best brownie you've ever eaten in your life. Just sitting there right at the bottom of the song, just making it awesome.
he just comes across as, again, a very real person. That, you know, it's not something that defines him. It's something that, and even he can find the humor in it.
Standing in a guy's case of very expensive cymbals and feeling them all buckle under my foot, and him screaming, "No, no!"
He headbangs from the waist. At least. He body bangs.
He body bangs.
Body bangs.
Yeah,
You just need to admire his passion. Yeah, and I really do.
Adam is a tiny bearded bellender.
I'm in the video. This is my appearance.
Sense of humour wise could just be summed up by a fart.
Headphones sound like crap.
He will be the guy that goes for a poo in the dressing room that we all have to share together.
I couldn't help it.
He lives like he drums, like everything is that full on and that intense all the time.
It's so fucking fast!
Yeah, sometimes I feel like this guy wants to play in, I don't know, death metal band.
And then he found Mariana Hollow, and I think that's a great fit.
Yeah.
This is what my drumming is for.
But his
I think his drumming can be for lots of different things, but I think it shines very much in Mariana Hollow.
I really enjoy the way he plays drums. I think he's technically gifted. I don't know how he does it, but even without rehearsing, it's it's right there.
It's like having a metronome sat behind you, which is damn cool, especially if you're a bass player.
He's alright, he's alright.
He's extremely good at arrangements, and he's extremely good at the kind of finer details of the songs. Lots of our songs actually that have been improved, you know, tenfold and stuff that Adam's just suggested off the cuff. A very, very thoughtful drummer. He's always doing 55 things I had no idea whatsoever he was actually doing. The War Goat. I don't think you can not like Gabriel.
Coming in for his audition, Gabriel didn't really tell us anything. He just said, "Oh, well, you know, me and your music, we had a little chat."
Yeah, it was like love at first sight. When I listened to the song, I was like, okay, this is going to be cool.
And to welcome him properly, so lovely to
And then we had the same shoes on, and to me that was a sign. Gabriel, like, is probably like the coolest person in the band. Like, he definitely looks the coolest in the band.
On a personal level, he just kind of arrived, slotted in, and there you go. It's like he's been there forever.
Here's the man warming
It's
up.
all about love. It has been a huge learning process for me since I joined the band. Instead of just trying to come up with something that would be really guitar oriented, I wanted it to be a bit more musical and a bit more melodic.
He always surprises me and comes up with amazing things that I really always feel here.
He brings a lot of positivity to the band and a lot of creativity.
The thing is with Gabriel that you never know what he's going to say, and that makes him brilliant.
I think about the universe in general. I think everything is gelling and having sex.
Without trying to be, he's very, very, very funny.
I think about dinosaurs, and I think about warehouses. I think about trees.
Gabriel is the most openly twisted person I've met.
The smell of sweat, of desire.
It's shocking the things that he comes up with.
I don't know how I do it, but I managed to smell my own ass.
You do.
Yeah, I think it was the closest I ever felt to being a cowboy. And I'm a cowboy at heart, so I want to do that shit again.
I don't think any of us spent the hours before our first gig drunk and high, asleep on the floor, being sick outside the venue. Gabriel, however, seemed to manage it.
Just a super nice guy and really fun, and I'm just forever grateful that we found him really and that he joined the band.
Spinky is one of the best talented singers in UK I've seen. He plays guitar. The whole band is great, but I think that what stands out is really Spinky, you know.
I can remember her sending her demo over to me, and then within about 5 seconds I remember taking my headphones off and saying, "Oh, I think we've actually found Yeah, I did kind of come to the main conclusion that there must be something wrong with her personality. Because there's no way someone can be this good at singing and this creative and this perfect without something going wrong with her, and I don't think I could have been more wrong if I'd actually tried.
I think if you worked with her, you'd be surprised to know that she sang in like a metal band. I think she's quite a contradiction in terms, which makes her all the more exciting.
There's that the dual thing of just being super, super badass on stage. And looking mean and singing absolutely astonishingly, and then she'll come and see you after the gig and she's all like, oh, I'm so glad you came, oh, it's really lovely to see you.
She's really, really cool, really mellow and really down to earth. It's not only about being a singer and about singing in tune and everything, she's really creative when it comes to her vocal lines.
Lost her soul again through the weak and defended eyes.
She just takes the business of singing really seriously.
Every time we give her a piece of music, I always have no idea what she's going to come out with. And every time it comes back, it takes you by surprise.
There are very, very, very few lyricists that I can dig their lyrics in a song and then also dig their lyrics when I read them, like off paper. And for me, lyrics, if you want to attach them from a melody or a piece of music, they become poetry and my brain just instantly goes, oh, I don't get this. But Spinky's lyrics aren't like that. I can read Spinky's lyrics and go, whew, fucking hell.
I think everyone in the band has got kind of choked up or just really kind of moved by at least one song that she's done.
She gives it everything when she's singing, and she'll work her balls off on stage because the songs mean a lot to her, and she puts a lot of kind of emotion and stuff into those performances.
She is deeply involved. She's not just like singing a song, whatever you can see. She's communicating the message.
She knows how to do the smooth thing and the raspy thing, and it's beautiful.
She's confident in her abilities, but I don't know if she'll ever quite recognise how good a singer she actually is. I was going through some tough time personally, and the songs just kind of really were a product of that. This is kind of how I'm feeling right now, and I need to condense it into something to get it out of my head.
I think the word that sums up the way we've put everything together is weaving. It's just a lot better. It's a lot better interlocking of and understanding of everyone's parts, you know.
Some of the songs have been changed several times already until you actually find the right structure and the right melodies.
That's what the tube's saying.
It's the right blend of power and attitude. Let's go for it.
A big goal for me during the recording of this has just been to get kind of a truer representation of what TMH actually would sound like if you were just standing in the room with us playing. Big drums, because Adam hits pretty hard. Big guitars, because Richie and Gabriel, that's just what they sound like. Horrible dirty bass, because that's what I like.
Unburned is actually about Game of Thrones.
We're all massive fans of Game of Thrones.
I thought, yeah, this would be a pretty cool idea lyrically.
There could never be one, but so many claims leave the gods turning.
Tits, swords, and dragons.
The song's quite epic and got a big beefy riff in there.
It's quite a powerful song. It's a kind of slow, grinding kind of song. Really, when Gabriel joined the band, we started to to jam it, and he came up with some absolutely fantastic parts. In fact, what he wrote for the song was almost what got him into the band.
To fans, I'd say I hope that you like the song, and I hope it sort of conjures up the same sort of image as it does for me.
It's very brutal.
I just want to say that seeing where Daenerys comes out of the flames with the burnt ship and the dragons and naked is just, it's probably one of the hottest things I've ever seen in my life.
That song came together pretty quick actually, when I did the demo of it, probably only over a couple of days.
Don't Lose Your Head is about just feeling under pressure.
There are a dozen approaching, each one of them bearing a look of disdain in me.
Dealing with unsavory kinds of people and people who are driven by greed and motivated by kind of all this kind of first world bullshit.
So it's really about keeping your cool and kind of knowing when to get out and believing in yourself that there's something better.
I try to come up with something that is my own, but somehow touches where it's coming from.
Scott and I have really locked together. I think you can hear the bass and the drums, coming, delivering something super essential and groovy, and that's exciting.
In the mix, like a solid low end. I always talk about it in terms of carpet. I want to be like a nice squashy carpet that's kind of there under your feet as you're listening to us.
Now I think it's actually one of the most kind of concise and really strong songs that we've got. It's a lot of fun to play live. And yeah, I'm immensely proud. Fantastic solo. Got a song that is extremely personal to me, called Sanzu. Probably my favourite song on the EP.
It came for his life, and words fall silent as they wait in the dark.
And the lyrics just kind of flowed when I came up with the chorus melody.
Spinky wrote possibly my favourite lyric she's ever written over the top of it. Again, about a very personal situation to her.
And even through his pain she glimpses a spark.
It's kind of about when someone's getting to the end of their life, it's sort of wondering how to deal with it for the best really. It's someone trying to care for someone, but also the emotions that they're going through, and knowing that that person is still the person they've known all their life, but coming to terms with what's happening. So, and I think it was just something that my mum was going through at the time when we were kind of pulling that song together.
Although it's quite a sad song, it's also very, very powerful.
Fight it back and just pretend he will hold you once again.
Nice. Gonna piss my pants.
There's really like a feeling there that you can connect with too, even if this is not something that you've been through, what she's singing about in the lyrics. You can understand and empathize with what's going on.
Alright, you ready? Last one.
Scars Not Wounds is about the funny dynamic in a friendship where you kind of feel like someone's pulling you down and not letting you be you, and it's not a very healthy relationship basically.
We'll take it and run, we'll take it and run, the anchor is erased, it's over and done.
It's just so direct and it's just so like refreshing. It's definitely her best stuff to date, you know.
This song actually originally had a very, very different chorus and middle section till I sent it out to the guys who very, very wisely, in retrospect, informed me those bits were rubbish.
Me and Scott are like playing with this incredibly deep pocket now, you know, that wasn't there before.
He has some really tasteful bass lines going on there, some really clever stuff going on there. And the way the rhythm section interacts is awesome.
It's like ear candy, it's such a shit word, but you be like, oh, what's that? Yeah, good luck headphone listening.
Right, cool. He does this inhuman thing where he doesn't like to listen to himself when he's double tracking.
Who? Richie?
Yeah. So he'll play like 14 takes or something of two separate things, and then you put them together and they sound perfect. It's freaky.
It's quite an angry song. You know, I suppose it was written in a period when, as a band, there was quite a lot of turmoil going on.
Your violent contrast has spared all amends.
It's the first song we've ever had any kind of screaming in it, courtesy of our drummer.
It's over and done!
Even though I'm massively proud of everything we've done, I think with this EP, it's slightly more natural.
I suppose coming from a time of being very unhappy, having these songs that kind of, I suppose in some ways remind me of those times, but also it's the fact that something creative came out of it.
The songs have also, the way they're designed is like by accident given us a whole new way to discover each other as musicians.
I just wanted it to be a really accurate snapshot of where we are now, because the energy with Gabriel is, the energy and the vibe is shit hot.
To express yourself through the things you listen and absorb as influences, and without realizing you come up with something that is your own, and that's the cool thing about it.
There's passion in it. You can listen to it and you can tell that they really care about the kind of music that they're playing, and whatever the lyrical message might be, or just the overall performance. And that's what I hear when I listen to Mariana Hollow.
I think we're starting to grow out of always being put on female-fronted bills, which is cool because it just shakes things up a bit.
I think if a band is good and if a singer is good, doesn't matter if it's a girl or a boy, you know.
It's a funny one for rock and roll because it's a niche market in rock and roll, not based on a musical style. It's based on a group demographic.
Ultimately, all I want to do is just be as good as I can be, and whether we're playing on a bill with all guys or all girls, I try not to even think about it now, you know.
The fact that you're able to bridge those sorts of genres and connect on those levels, and whenever you have one of those, like the Bloodstock event like you're talking about, that you can stand out in the crowd of someone who's just up there doing what all the other 10 bands on the bill are doing, that says something about the integrity of the group.
It's usually the master who comes out at the top, not the imitators.
Nobody plays any of these songs by heart. Everybody puts everything they've got into them. And it means the world to me.
Alright. And there you have it. We have made rock and roll.
Watching